don't think in this meta. Ooh, I love this Jhin pick here. Actually, you have such great setup because you have the Fury, you have the Alistar for frontline, and they're going in. The Annie is also going to be looking to lock somebody down, and the Jhin can follow up no matter where Annie is. If Annie is on the GOAT has had some mediocre early games. Not this time.
Well, Grand Starfall going to come in here as the equalizer goes down from Rich, but I don't think he's going to survive. Does take a while for him to go down, and Doran ticking, but see whether Sponge can at least lock down the next one. Kind of important here, and is going to be able to do so. Arizona coming on in, and that is going to be all three. He nails it. LazyFeel even giving up as he just kills the wave.
This could be a trick, though. Good ward from Doran.
Yeah. Oh, Shock Blast almost just killing LazyFeel, and thankfully for LazyFeel, he walks onto... Okay, there's the flash, and the answer does come through. There's the headbutt from Andil! No way! Down he goes! Oh no! Tibbers just attacking the GOAT over and over, and that is going to be T1 locking down the Dragon. Flash pole onto 3 though, Deadly Flourish comes down, equalizes, fantastic. Featherstorm buying so much space though, as Gumayusi looks for an opportunity with the flash, but now it's gone a little bit too far. Or has Sponge, who goes untargetable and just says, I'm an Ascendant. He will do so, the bleed's ticking, but not ticking enough, and protect the President.
Saw the angles there for DRX, but the play on the side of T1 was just too good, and now Owner shows up with his ultimate. LazyFeel gonna get stunned.
Yeah, flash on in as Gumayusi maybe didn't need to be there, but Deadly Flourish was definitely not going to land.
Like you said, and we've talked about so much with Annie, but if the Annie doesn't get the kill,
This is a special stake delivery here, as Andil is going to be providing it. T1, all three of them just around the dinner table. Deathray will be able to secure it, and I'd say that's medium rare. Able to walk out. Had to invest the teleport in a play that isn't necessarily working. Let's see whether we find ourselves a stun, as it doesn't quite work. Gumayusi in trouble though, and he will just burn down. So finally they get their prize that they've been looking for oh so long. And Gumayusi does go down, but they have to trade it for this outer turret on the top side of the map. Faker will be taking that. That will secure feats of strength here for T1.
I think the thought process for T1 is while Faker doesn't have teleport, he could just call, all right, just delay the fight there. We have a Pantheon ult. He can join in instantly, and I'll get this turret. Unfortunately, Guma ended up being an unnecessary casualty, I would argue, there in this. T1 were very aware that they had control of the map, and that's first brick, which means feats of strength. So Faker has just probably made this call a million years ago when the fight breaks out. And this is a very aggressive teleport angle here from the Annie, right? This means that Keria and Doran have to walk up, as we're actually going to live, where Rich is...
Yeah, he's flashing on Faker. Sponge is moving in, but there's another teleport. Owner is already here. Rich is definitely dead, guys. And Sponge is just going to walk himself out of there.
Didn't have teleport, but she's not quite able to get the turret. And First Blood, that ship is our first brick has already sailed that ship. So, Doran?
Well, he is going to go to the skies, and so is Sponge. He's just dead. Doran just
right here on the bottom side. As T1 have really just grabbed hold of this game. It doesn't look like they're going to let it go.
Yep. Eyes on the prize as T1 looking to start off this Rift Herald. Let's see whether DRX can find themselves an angle. There is Faker getting engaged on. The equalizer is down, and I think he is going to be dead. The rest of T1 now trying to escape as the Featherstorm going to get the flash out as well. Gumayusi
Blast Cone
uses all of his utility, and there is Yukao with the engage. Guma goes down after Owner. That's a lot of shutdown opportunities, and now Keria, nowhere to go, has a cask. So that might buy him some space, but the rest of them are just going to be killing Rich. These stuns from the Annie set up really, really nicely, especially in this moment.
Yeah, it's so hard to get away from this Annie when you end up losing a fight like this. And I was saying before, if DRX fall too far behind, when they do those combos, they look for the dives
right now.
Rich could get a turret before he comes, but he's going to come down right now, in fact.
LazyFeel, pretty aggressive positioning here, as I would be a little careful. Keria comes in and reminds him exactly why, but they're going to try and turn it. Andil goes in. He is traded. Actually, he doesn't even go down. The curtains have now been called. And Gumayusi, you better dance. And he doesn't get out of the last couple. Owner puts up the wall. But I think DRX...
Here for DRX, they get the kill on Keria as well. I think ideally they would have liked more kills on top of it, but I think they'll definitely take the prize. The top turret did go down anyways after Rich left. Now LazyFeel, no cleanse, no flash.
LazyFeel, you're not allowed to farm the mid lane. We've spoken about this already. There's Andil looking for a bit of an angle here, but Sponge going in. Rich turns up as well. Now the real damage gets in there. As over the wall goes the doggo. And thankfully they're going to be okay as there is the pulverize onto 2. Doran burning down and UCal collects the kill. Tibbers is going to lie down. Give you a little bit of a it could be worse type scenario. As this turret not long for the world, Gumishi able to walk up and take that one down without too much of an end.
This is a big fight.
Yeah, and this is big lethality on the Jace as well. These shock blasts going to really hurt us. That's just Chain CC, and yes, he manages to go up into the Featherstorm, and that just doesn't really do anything. So Gumiushi just caught in mid lane. A little bit of what Lazy Feel was.
Really hard fight. Doran needs to hit a big shock blast, but he can't hit what he can't see. Might just have to toss it in, and he does. Hit Sponge.
Yeah, Sponge not going to be too worried about it as UCal on a flank angle. And Tibbers is just being really frustrating. There's the equalizer as DRX look for the turn. The curtain call unanswerable right now, but the bullets aren't really landing. And Rich also getting attacked by the Baron. He's out of there. Andel's also going to be taken down. And T1, they answer the fight really nicely. Now they're looking for even more, but should they? Is the question. Ona says absolutely we should. As in goes Sponge and out he goes via the Death Chamber. As Lazyfield wanted to offer some damage back, putting some miles into the Infinity Edge that he picked up as he gets a big old shield. And Ona just going to be able to dance forward. Stun comes down, Faker finishes off the Jhin as Doran moving on over. UCal almost in range. Doesn't have
for UCal on the side here. They just want to deny owner entry, but Andil and Rich make the call to look for a fight at the same time.
Meaningful advantage in this game. Puts T1 in a fantastic position as Carrier goes for it once again. Cast just going to knock Rich into the wall, and there's nothing he could do. He gets the equalizer off, but that is all we can really say about that. Unbreakable Will now on cooldown for Andil, but he still gets taken down halfway, and this is what I was talking about. T1 now just able to get picks, translate that into full map control, and DRX are just going to fall further and further behind. And a bunch of extra stats now as this Thornbound Otacon is also going to be taken.
If they all walked into UCal where he had his Tibbers stun prepped, you know, Death Cap, I mean, if he could hit a big stun or if the fight goes longer.
Well, Ona's going to go in. This might be a bridge too far as Sponge not going to get pushed away by that. Cask and Andal is just holding them in place. Can Ona get over the wall? That's the question. As Gumiushi says, it does not matter. He can go where he wants because I am massive, and he absolutely is. There's the double kill for the Xayah. And Gumiushi, I think, is a little upset that he died a million times in the early stages of this game and is going to
fight. That's kind of how T1 has been winning a lot of their series this season, hasn't it? It's been Atlas. Whether it's Xin Zhao pressing an R, Pantheon putting on the flank, and then the collapse is there. Guma's huge, and he just gets to clean up. Faker denies anyone else from following up, and, you know, focusing a Pantheon, the only option DRX had, but it wasn't going to be successful. Is now Owner's level 18.
Yeah, that's a 3-level lead. This Doggo not looking too hot right now. Although it is a hot dog, so it's a bit weird. Probably should be at least warm.
More like a chili dog right now.
Yeah, definitely chili. That's okay. Lazy Feel, can he protect that? Oh dear. UCal not going to quite find the Tibbers angle. Kind of tells the story of this series a little bit as Grand Starfall comes in. Decent cap jack there from Lazyfield, but I don't think it's going to save his life. A spear will be avoided, and so maybe Owner is not going to be able to get that one done. Still, he survives, and they take down Rich as well. And DRX just a little too far behind, ladies and gentlemen. T1, they've scaled into this game, and they are going to utilize that to take down this Nexus here in game number 1. Lazyfield just going to have to dance away from some of these skill shots as he watches his Nexus explode, and I don't even think he's going to be able to do that because Carrier decides that he's worth killing. Let's do it. T1 take down the Nexus and we'll end game number 1, and it looked like another DRX. A lot of it has been to do with this guy's Scion, as the answer from Doran will be this Camille. Camille Nocturne, pretty powerful, right? You can play out these 1-3-1s, pretty devastating too. Oh, hold up. Yeah, UCal not going to get hit by the Dustbringer as Seismic Shove comes through, but the Charm was in the air, and UCal just walks towards Faker and dies.
Yeah, that looked very funny. It almost like challenges Drake, but with no mid-prior of the wave crashing, I don't think this is realistic.
Well, there's a bit of a battle towards the bottom side as Carrier going down very, very low. Faker thinking about moving on over to defend that one. As level 5s for both of our junglers, UCal will be able to skate his way over here. The Dragon is down low. It will be a smite fight, won by Ona for now, as he'll have to flash to get himself out of the way. But Andil, he's going to follow him. The Weaver's Wall comes in, and they all pile in on top of the Nocturne. And he will be seismically shoved into the Death Chamber. Faker now moving back towards mid, and DRX will be able to try and find some of the spoils as Sponge transforming into Owner will be able to take his Gromp.
These are the Andil games, you know, where you're like, oh, I see the angles. I see why this guy got his starting position back. They're looking for more here now into the bottom lane.
Oh dear, there's a flash immediately by Gumayusi actually, as Kerry is the one that's going down very low. Andil able to get himself out of there, but Sponge is just dead, and that was a whoopsie.
I mean, trying to dive in Nautilus can be very difficult, as we know. And Grub without using Smite.
Yeah, so grabs that one. Carrier just going to stun up Andil just for a moment as he's pulling him back in, being a little bit frustrating, and Andil going aggressive. Doran moving over as Rich trying to defend, but the Q finds absolutely no one, and Andil is just dead. Can they get anything in response? That's the question, as Seismic Shove will connect onto Gumayusi, and Rich, he's going to survive. True Shot Barrage, not going to hit anyone, and there are both of those Grubs going down. In goes the Scion as he's trying to get rid of Gumayusi, and that is an engage onto Lazy Feel if ever I've seen one. He just evaporates. Andil going aggressive, and Yukal trying to find a few windows as there's the flash in from Doran. Hextech Ultimatum onto Sponge, but now he's just in the Thunderdome by himself. T1 kind of playing it well, being able to take one of them, but they lose their AD carry as well. And finally, they're able to take down Sponge. Rich now coming on in. He's now joining the rest of T1. These health bars are so low, but nothing's landing from DRX. They can't get any of the kills.
They don't have enough damage here. Keep Lazy Feel out of the initial part of the fight.
Oh no, Mystic Shot going wide is a disaster, and Gumayusi walks up to him and shoots him.
There.
And so was comfortable to surmise, not comfortable to watch again, as that max range hook just gorgeous. Down goes Mr. Sponge.
Yeah, there's starting to give me some like 2022 Live Sandbox feels right now with only go in.
And that has continued to be a little bit of a problem here. Solar Flare will be able to lock down Faker. Seismic Shove is some nice chain CC. There we go. Here's the uptick from the DRX. And now, let's see whether the down tick is happening immediately. The flash hook, not going to quite find the mark, but I don't think they're out of the woods just yet, as, oh god. Depth charge going to come on through as Yukal's in trouble. Does have to flash and does do so, but the double up almost murders both of them. Does manage to get the kill onto Yukal, and there we go. The ebbs and flows of DRX, ladies and gentlemen. They get a kill onto Faker, and then they lose two.
Yeah, well, it's the traditional Faker dies, but then you win the fight style is over here. Unstoppable
hit the wall.
Yeah, there's a stoppable moment there.
A little stoppable.
Slightly stoppable.
I think Faker is pretty charming, and he is going to prove that as Rich just going to get taken out. The Zombie Scion going to see what he can do about this wave. How big it is. I think just big is enough. As Doran is going to go in onto Rich here. I don't know what I was talking about there. As okay, Faker not going to get shoved, and there is the paranoia. Down goes Yukal. Flash, try and keep himself alive. Sponge standing on so much vision as they do get rid of the Rift Herald
instantaneously, but if you just play respectfully, then you just lose control.
Oh, I've seen this play before, as this time Faker does not get stunned up by the Solar Flare.
TP.
And Andil is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Teleport comes in from Doran, as Gumayusi may even be delivered the kill. Never mind, it goes to the goat. Here towards his bottom side, they already have feats of strength, but if they didn't, they could get them again by locking down that first turret. There it goes. And the thing is, I think a lot of people have learnt that focusing Faker in a side lane to the detriment of everything else is generally not a great strategy, as Doran looks for Sponge, and it doesn't work.
This could backfire.
I think it may already have backfired, as Faker is also dead. Sponge grabs another reset. This is where it's fine.
Okay.
As T1 take down the inner turret, and this one as well.
Faker die inside and you get the cross map win is another archetype, because there's a Faker die inside, win the team fight. There's Faker die inside in the cross map. There's also Faker teleport to die and win the cross map.
So this is the new kill. It's only Faker that does magic damage on this squad, and Ari isn't necessarily known for being super good at cutting down front line.
I mean, Malignance and the Leon
able to do so here, as the Archon has been started. Can DRX find any angles here as the paranoia comes on through, and down goes Yukal once again. This guy's Talia has looked great, but I'm starting to doubt my memory right now.
Unfortunately, I think the issue is just you're not allowed to be by yourself ever into this Nocturne, even if they are doing Otacon, because they'll just collapse on you, and Owner just so good at that. And now they can just go straight back to the Otacon. Carrier on this really cool flank here as well, as Faker shows up with his ult.
Yep, Depth Charge going to get a couple of knockups here as Sponge being held out of the Otacon pit. Carrier will be taken out though, and now T1 rotating over yet again. Sion finds the knock-up as Doran is dead once more. And now Faker just doing what he can to try and stay in this, and maybe I spoke too soon. The flash to try and get the knock-up, but it's a great spell shield, and now Ona looking to try and turn it. This Sion is just massive on this front line, though, and UCal has respawned. The wall comes on down, Ona is singled out, and Rich turned into a zombie, but I think he's well and truly done his job, and I take it all back. Maybe I did really need to talk about that scaling aspect. This is Sion starting to look
now DRX are going to get it.
Yeah, the response is this Otacon as Paranoia does come down. That is Sponge securing it. As now Doran trying to get in there. Owner is well and truly in there. I don't know about whether he wanted to be. As the charm comes down, Faker is cutting them all down. Both of the DPS have been eliminated. And Faker is just looking to kill everyone. Gumayusi grabs a piece of it, and Andil is going to be going down next. Gumayusi trying to get out of the way of Rich, who's just not someone that he is able to kill. And Faker will hunt down this Leona. T1, the punishment was immediate, as the Foxfire is going to be able to cut him out, as Gumayusi just spending some time outside of the queue. And yeah, as you can see, Gumayusi does need armor penetration if he ever wants to kill Sion. Look at that. Rich cannot die, by the way, guys, basically, as finally he does go down. And there goes
he gets a double?
Gumayusi. Does he get a double?
No, I don't think so.
The health bar is going down lower and lower and lower, and Carrier will be able to, because that's like on-hit magic damage. As Carrier does hit the 5,000 assists, and he's also rewarded with a kill for his efforts, as we saw there towards the top side. As Doran getting closed in on here by UCal, as over the wall goes Sponge. Doran is going to then flash into Andil and gets immediately stunned. So there is a nice little
pit Faker flank.
Yeah. I'm all about that optimism as well, as in goes Carrier looking for that angle. Once again, UCal is singled out and destroyed, and T1 just making it an uncomfortable time in the Baron Pit. This time it's an immediate triple kill for Faker. Can he find more? The answer is absolutely, as the GOAT may pick up a Penta, and in fact, he almost definitely will. He's the only one that does damage to the Sion, so there's the Penta kill for Faker.
Faker with a Penta, and it's just perfect play on this Ahri. 15 kills. And once again, he doesn't care about your front line. He doesn't care about your Sion. He's finding those damage dealers in the back, goes to the back of the pit, and deletes them instantly. Such great play on an iconic pick for Faker. He has so many of those. But the Ahri, we knew it was coming in the draft. They pull out Owner's Nocturne. They work together so incredibly well. And it's just been these two players against
that could be the way. That's all right, Spell Shield, not going to get that value as the knock-up does come on in. The crash into the Nocturne as True Shot Barrage doesn't connect, but now the bullet time is going to cut down Sponge so quickly. Lazy Field, he's not getting out of there. And down he goes. T1 just a little bit too far ahead now as UCal, he's going to come in, but he's kind of like Donald Glover, holding the pizza with his house on fire. As Rich is a zombie, and Faker is not even going to let UCal get out of this one. He is going to get charmed and destroyed. There's another ace for T1. And you've got a bit of a palindrome when it comes to the score lines here. 13-31. T1 very happy about that, as they're looking to close this one out 2-0 right now.
Yep, that's the end of that. Owner's like, all right, Xinjiao, our button can't get hurt. Pantheon got a shield, can't get hurt. He's like, Nocturne is spell shield.
It was not UCal's day today.
Yeah, no, Rich also kind of doing large
He built a Thornmail, by the way.
Yeah, he was standing on top of them sometimes and doing as much damage as possible.
And it's going to be Faker that picks it up. I don't think anyone's too surprised about that one.
I do feel like you really could have gone either way. It's a chicken and the egg situation, I think, in game 2, but Faker played so incredibly well in the team fights, but Owner set him up for that play by turning the lights off. He set up the side lanes. Game 1, it's like both of them played incredibly well. He played super well on the Victor, but Owner's Pantheon.
If the GOAT gets a Penta, you stand up and recognize. That's how it works here in the LCK, is what it sort of feels like to me.
For Owner.
Yeah, no, I probably would have as well. But that might be what is being thought of around the rest of the LCK. And honestly, I don't mind. As long as it's either Faker or Owner, I expect both of those to be the only votes that are kind of allowed, which kind of feels like 2025. But let's throw it over to Faker now with the interview.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Faker on the side of T1. What a cute carnation pin on your head. Thank you so much for the interview today. You got your 3-win streak after defeating DRX. How do you feel? From the start of round 2, I feel like we're off a great momentum with a good winning streak, so it makes me very happy. And Victor is your most played champion. You've been showing a great performance with him, and in game 1, it was a bit slow in the middle, but you closed it out with a win. So what was the compositional strength that you were trying to focus on? Towards the mid to end game, I think we just had higher potential as a composition, and I think we were just trying to play it out slow, and that's the type of the macro that we tried to apply on this game. And you versed Annie in game 1. And how was playing against her after the buff this patch? After the buff for Annie, I think it was definitely something that was on my mind, and I think she's definitely viable. We're going to start seeing a lot more of Annie from now on. Did you happen to see Yukal's interview before? He said, regardless of winning or losing, Yukal said he really wanted to take a picture with you, so would you do him the honor? Just the fact that Yukal likes me so much is such an honor. Of course, I can take a picture with him. And in game 2, you played Ahri. You're juggling, and the damage and the pentakill was so amazing. That's not it. You got 16 kills with Ahri, and you broke your personal all-time highest kill record in a game. So let's give it up for Faker. Congratulations. And it was your birthday yesterday, so perhaps this was a birthday present for yourself, this pentakill? Yeah, I just feel like I got a great present for myself. And it was a great result. I'm very satisfied. It was the first penta since 2015 after 10 years. So, of course, we're gonna have to look at the replay again. How did you feel in this moment? I was actually quite focused on getting the pentakill. I ended up getting so many kills, and then I asked for the penta from my team. And after how many kills did you think about getting the penta? After I killed the Scion. And you said to your teammates, I appreciate the meal, with a smirk. You must have felt great. Yeah, today's Parents' Day in Korea. So I would say I felt like being a great son to my parents. Yeah, just as you are wearing this carnation pin, would you like to say anything to your family? During my professional career, thank you so much, and I appreciate all the support that I get from my family. And I want to keep playing well to pay your support back. And there is much more left to celebrate. Keria has reached 5,000 assists in the LCK, and that's such a fast milestone that he has achieved, because he's actually catching up to your assists as well. How does it feel? I wasn't really paying attention to all the milestones, but hearing that Keria is catching up to me, well, I guess I just have to play even harder and work harder. And would you like to say anything to Keria then? Well, congratulations. And this upcoming Saturday, you will have the Saturday Showdown against D plus Kia. What's the resolution? In order to advance to MSI, it's going to be so crucial to beat D plus Kia, so we will try our best. And that's the end of the interview with Faker. And back to the space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Ayaya. And just like Faker, I love being a good son to my parents too. Love you, Mom and Dad. It is a 2-0 for T1 and the second ever pentakill for Faker. He gets 12 out of the 13. Only one.
Crony changed.
Wow. No, that's
Wow.
not. Yeah, Crony changed his, but